Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, new sanctions on the horizon from the European Union directed to Russia. And yes, that oil cap is going to take effect, and they will make sure that they will control, they think, how Russian oil will be delivered or shipped around and at what price. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Buy some oil right now if you can, or buy some gas, because things are gonna get, the prices are gonna go. I don't know. I don't want to say my personal assessment. I think they're gonna be double. All right. So let's say right now at the pump just jumped about 60 cents in one day, from 3.90 something or something like that to 4.50 a gallon where I live here. So that's a big jump, and remember, that's before OPEC said that they will decrease their production with 2 million barrels a day. Winter is coming, and these guys are going to place oil price cap on Russian oil. So what do you think is going to happen? I think it's going to double the price. So let's say right now it's 4.50. I think it's going to be 9, or let's say 8 in about, I don't know, within the next year, guaranteed. So oil price come on October 5, 2022 states European Union ambassadors agree on a Russian oil price cap. European Union ambassadors reached an agreement on Wednesday to impose a new package of sanctions on Russia, including banning maritime transportation for Russian oil to third-party countries, unless the oil is sold below or at a certain price cap. Who the you think you are? And I know they like market economy and like capitalism, right? This is our communists right here. Communism for them, wild capitalism for us. If you can't pay your mortgage, they come and take your house. If, I don't know, Fannie Mae or let's say Goldman Sachs can't pay their share of whatever, and they worked in benefit, too big to fail. If General Motors is bankrupt and works in a deficit and has how many billions it had, it's okay. The government will take from me, give to them. That's what happened. 2008, remember that one? Too big to fail, but we are so unimportant too. Who cares? Boom, gone. And I'm quoting, ambassadors reached a political agreement on new sanctions against Russia, a strong EU response to Putin's illegal annexation of Ukrainian territories, the Czech rotating presidency of the EU said on a tweet today. Yeah, okay. Use the same justice when you are dealing with other countries, and then you win me over. Until then, I'm not on your side on this one. Why? Because you're unjust. If you use the same principle and are so upset about that kind of recognition of those territories, you would have imposed sanctions on yourselves in 2008. I think that's when Kosovo declared its independence. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Do I agree with that? No, because if I agree with that, I'm supposed to agree with what happened in Crimea, and I'm supposed to agree with what happens now in Ukraine. Oh, it's a little bit different because you got a little bit of different names, right? It's only one entity that's the same, and that's the manipulator. Everybody else is a different actor. Russia is different, Baba Boom is different, Baba Bang is different. Only that guy from across the Atlantic, the Zimbabwe, they are the same somehow. Is the common denominator. Very strange, don't you think? It's just a coincidence, I'm sure. The 8th package of sanctions includes, and I'm quoting, prohibition of maritime transport of Russian oil to third countries above the oil price cap and a ban on related services. Third countries. The additional sanctions also extend import bans on goods such as steel products, wood, pulp, paper, machinery and appliances, chemical, plastic and cigarettes. You know what you don't see here? You don't see uranium or plutonium. You don't see fertilizer. You don't see these kind of things. Anyway, you know why? Because that's needed by the boss, uranium especially. Remember? I made a video, maybe you don't, but I made a video, and the United States imports, how much was it, like 17% of uranium from Russia, plus some percent from Russia of processed uranium or services or something like that. So that stayed out of the sanctions. Yeah. Okay, and we're supposed to be fair and just. The EU is also banning the provision of IT, engineering and legal services to Russian entities and is expanding the tech export ban. The political agreement on the price cap contains measures to soften the impact of the sanctions on EU member states with large shipping industries and fleet such as Greece, Cyprus and Malta, sources with knowledge of the matter told Bloomberg. A sanctions package would need unanimous approval by all 27 EU member states, but Hungary has said it would block new energy sanctions against Russia. But former Prime Minister of Italy, Mario Draghi, he didn't like democracy too much. And when he likes democracy, where he used to like democracy, when the decisions were coincided with his preferences. Once people voted differently, or countries voted differently than his desire, then democracy was not good anymore. So the 27 EU member states have to be voting unanimously for this to take effect. Now Mario Draghi started crying that you can't do this. Why? Because we need to do it, and we have a few countries who they want to veto. So he thought about something about majority, 51%. Why? Because it's easier to, if you have a few guys that disagree, screw them. So you see, he's gonna change the rules while walking, so it fits his little agenda. He's gone for now, but he's gonna be back. Not in Italy. I suspect he's going to be taken and placed again in a financial institution where he came from, just so you know. EU leaders, they're leaders, yes, are set to discuss Russia's war in Ukraine energy and economic situation at a meeting in Prague on October 7. Earlier this week, it's not the EU elected representatives of their citizens. No, they're the leaders. You're just public servants. That's what you are. But they are leaders. It's like right now, if you watch movies, when FBI or CIA is portrayed in the movies, oh my God, they are the brightest, smartest, and the best. Watch movies from, 1930s, 50s about police officers. FBI and CIA was not really then, right? So you just go by police officers. They were portrayed as dumb and this and that. Not that they were like that, but I'm just saying. And now FBI, you know that certain studios, when they make movies, they have advisors from FBI and CIA. Do you know that? And not to tell them, if they really agree with how they are portrayed. I can't remember where I heard that, but you can probably find it. So they have to come and say they're advisors. If CIA is portrayed badly, oh my God, you can't. When was the last time we portrayed it? Always good wins. It's another thing at the Hollywood. They have some provisions that why the evil never wins in American movies? Because evil never wins? No, because it's a provision. American movies have to have always what's good winning. What they say is good. That's another thing, the aspect. Earlier this week, Ben Harris, Assistant Secretary for Economic Policy at the U.S. Treasury Department, said that the Treasury is looking to structure a three-phased approach to the G7 sanctions and price caps on Russian oil to keep Russian crude and products flowing, but at lower prices. So basically they you can't sell your product, but only to that price, because we said so. But we can set whatever we want, what price we want to set. That's what it is. How would you like that? Because you're a bad dude. Why? Because you don't do what I say, and I just insert myself in your little scuffle with your neighbor, and I think I'm very moral, and I'm gonna do something very just by doing that. Really, it's just so, I can't. It's just, the G7 group of the most industrialized nations will first target Russia's crude oil, then move on to include diesel at a second stage. Finally, the lower value products such as naphtha will be part of the third phase, Harris said at the Argus European Crude Conference in Geneva on Tuesday. I don't know, man. I'm not saying that Russia is, and I'm not going to argue from the point of perfection. Nobody said Russia is perfect. No, I'm not saying Russia is a good player. I'm not saying it's a bad player. It has both, like all other countries. I don't like when these other countries pretend to be pure and clear like a crystal, when they have blood on their hands. Serbia, 1999. They have Iraq. They have Syria, they have Afghanistan, they have Libya, and I'm supposed to root for these guys. How is that possible? Unless I say, well, that's my team, and no matter what, I'm with them because they're gonna help me. They're not helping me. I'm a number, and I'm a collateral used for getting money and paying money to the banking systems. That's what I am. I'm collateral for them. When they go over there to borrow money, the governments, what do you think they use? It's like you go to buy a something. They say, what do you have a collateral? In case you don't pay, what do I get? And you say, well, I got another property. Okay, you put it as a collateral. In case you don't pay, we are the collaterals, because they say, well, is this the product? We have the population. This is the amount of taxes we get from the ants that work and pay taxes, and in our name. And then they do their hanky-panky, and they get fatter and fatter and fatter financially, and we work harder and longer, and we're stressed and with mental health issues and with other garbage food that supposedly is food we ingest every day, genetically modified with all those hormones and steroids and garbage. Looks like food, smells like food, tastes like I don't know what, and it's not food. I don't know what it is, but it's unbelievable. We live better lives, and look at us. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.